Hello all, welcome to the live webinar series jointly conducted by Evolution Careers in association with Harrison Consulting. I am Sukumar, the speaker for this session, and the topic is turn your negatives into strengths or use your negatives as your strengths. Every one of us has positives and negatives within us. Certain aspects we are very good at, and certain aspects we are little weak, or maybe we can call them as negatives of us. How to use them for your benefits? Yes, we can use our negatives as positives. There are a lot of things which can be used, but when and where to use, how to use, that depends. You cannot use each and everything everywhere. Certain places you have to use certain things only. You cannot go to death condolence and keep laughing. You might have the habit of laughing at everything, but if you are on an unhappy occasion, your laugh makes sense. But when you are in a condolence, you have to at least keep avoiding laughing. Similarly, we can definitely turn our strengths, turn our negatives into strengths. How is the question over here? Yes, we can definitely turn it. It's pretty much easier. Just identify what are your weaknesses. Say if short temper is your weakness, you can find a lot of instances in your life where you can use short temper. Yes, there are a lot of places where you can use your short temper as a tool to get things done. If being emotional you feel as your weakness, you have lot of places wherein you can turn it, wherein you can use that as your weapon or tool, or sometimes you get your protection with that. You get your protection with that, remember. So, how to use that, where to use that depends. Even your positives, you cannot use it each and every place. You cannot use even your positives in each and every place. You have limitations. You definitely have limitations even for your positives. So let's not think much about what we do not have, or what we lack, or what we feel as we are short of. All of us are not identical. All of us are not identical. Each of us we have a different nature. Each of us we have different strengths and weaknesses. There is nothing in this world called as a fixed strength. Yes, you need certain behavioral aspects, definitely as a minimum criteria to handle certain things. But it doesn't mean you need to have everything ticked off. You cannot have it. None of us will be having it. So, let's do this exercise. Let's try to find out what we feel as our weakness. What we feel as a weakness. Once we identify it, then let's list them out. Let's list them out. What are our weaknesses? then let's work on each and everything. Let's tend to work on each and everything. Ultimately, what it happens, you will find a way out how to use those so called negatives of you into your benefits. So called negatives of you into benefits. How you can use that? It needs a good amount of exercise. You need to have a good amount of exercise to carry it out. Why you have to have good amount of exercises? Because you have to develop that into your benefit or your advantage. When you want to develop certain things into your advantage, then what you need to have? What you need to have? Just think. You need a lot of practice. You need to make that as a habit. Say, knowledge is needed to survive. You tend to learn knowledge each and every day. If you stop learning it, then your survival becomes a question mark. You make learning of new things as a habit each and every day. You make taking 3 meals a day as a habit because our body needs it. Our body needs energy. So we need to take it. We never skip it. We never avoid it. Why? Because we are habituated for it. Respecting elders, most of us made it as a habit. And much more things like that. When you are meeting a person for the first time, or when you meet a person, you tend to greet him or her. Along with the greetings, you give a smile. Verbal greeting, non-verbal greeting is a smile. You give a pleasant body language. Why you give that? Why you have cultivated that habit? Because you have been taught, or we have been taught, it's a good gesture which we have to follow. It gives a feel good factor. So we have cultivated that habit. Same way, whenever this personality development things happen, most of us tend to feel we have lot of negatives. We are low in confidence. We are low in morality. We are low in ethics. No, those can be cultivated. You can make that as a habit. Anything you follow 21 days or 48 days non-stop becomes a habit for you, for anyone. So, when you feel certain things as your negative, you need not to remove it completely from your nature. You can still keep it and use it whenever it is needed. But you have to keep that in control, not to use where it is not needed. You cannot go and show a short temper to your boss, to your management representative, or the owner of the organization where you are employed or where you are studying for no reason or for simple reasons. It will definitely affect you or backfire you. But at the same time, when you have to show that anger, if you had made it as a habit that you're not going to get anger at any point of time in your life, then that makes you unsuccessful at that point of time. So don't feel that you have a lot of negatives. The negatives that you should not have is your low confidence or your inferiority complexes. If you get rid of those two negatives, especially. Rest of all things can turn positive too. Rest of all the aspects of yourself, like the anger or the short temper or the emotions, being emotional, and lot many things which you feel as negative, being sentimental, being traditional, or being old age mindset. Yes, everything has its own value. Everything has its own value. So never ever think that just because somebody has told it as negative, it doesn't mean that it is actually negative. The real negatives are your lack of confidence, lack of belief, lack of esteem, self esteem, undermining yourself, underestimating yourself. Why you undermine and underestimate yourself is because you have been labeled as unfit by someone, or you feel that you are fit for nothing. No, you are born for a reason. We are all born for a reason. We have our duties to do, we have our goals to achieve. We have a number of unknown goals that we are going to achieve in our life. The goals we fix are hardly 10% of the actual goals that we are going to achieve in our entire life. So don't put everything into your head. Don't put everything into your head thinking that you are the way as depicted by others. You are the person to judge yourself much better than anyone else. I cannot judge you 200%. You yourself only can judge you. If I want to judge you, I have to interact with you, I have to guide you to judge yourself, and in that process, I can judge based on how you behave. Most of us are not the way actually we are. We have an inner side. We have an inner side. Even Charlie Chaplin is a famous humor artist who lived in the black and white era. All of his movies made people laugh out loud, LOL, rolling on the floor laughing, ROFL. But he had his fair share of sorrows deep inside his heart. He never slept happily smiling, but he made almost the entire world laugh with his movies. So, the way we see, the way we behave is not reality many, many of the times. So, don't get stick into that. Don't get stuck into a pattern. Life is not a pattern. It keeps changing every day. Only thing that doesn't change is you, me, we. Our natures, our inherent characteristics are the ones that doesn't change. Technology changes, job opportunities changes, career opportunities changes, politics changes, governments changes. Everything will change. Everything keeps changing every day. Maybe the change might be small or big. Everything changes. But only thing that doesn't change is our attitude, our self esteem. Our self esteem, self confidence, and self belief should always be within us. Should always be within us. Why? Because when we have that inside us, Nothing can be a negative for us. Nothing. Everything of yours becomes positive. Everything, each and everything of yours become positive to you. When positivity is filled around you, you can conquer the world. I'm not saying it as a funny tone. Alexander believed in himself, his army, his warriors, his resources. He trusted his bravery, his skills, and from Greece he came until the Indian border. He came until the Indian border. In those days, we didn't have flights, or they didn't have flights to fly and just landed over few hours of time. There were no trains, there were no buses. They hardly had horses or few tamed animals to commute. And that too, they cannot commute non-stop on those animals because those animals were also limited in number. So they have to use those resources effectively. And they had to travel by foot, by foot. No sophisticated facilities or luxurious facilities like today's hotels in every place we travel. The boarding and lodging facilities, they have to earn the food. They have conquered. They have conquered. And then the British, they colonized almost 60% of the world or much beyond that. On the other hand, few other European countries, including the Germany, have colonized certain other countries. So, why? Because they believed in themselves. They turned even the negatives into positives. That's it. If Abdul Kalam, we all know Abdul Kalam, so let me take his life as an example. If he had felt that being from a poor family, need to support his family financially during his school days itself, if he had kept thinking about it alone, he would have focused on earning money rather than becoming a scientist. But he wanted to overcome those negatives and make a successful path. Make a successful path. And he did it. Most of us have equally talent within ourselves, equal amount of skills within ourselves, but we are not directing them in the right way because of we succumbing to the negativities around us. The real negatives are lack of confidence, lack of self-belief, lack of self-esteem. Except that there is nothing called your negativity. Even without knowledge, you can survive in this world. You have certain things wherein you need not apply much of a knowledge. You still can survive. If you have a right team around you, then you can survive even without much of a knowledge. Skills, still you can survive, but you can survive better if you have a skill set needed for you. With this, I conclude on this session today, and the next session is going to be on the topic Speak Out, Reach Out, and the speaker is going to be Ms. Harshita Shah, Associate Director of Evolution Careers. Thanks for watching our online webinars. Thanks for your active participation and support. It's Sukumar signing off from the live session now. Thank you.